I'd always loved comedy growing up, and I'd written for a couple of friends who did stand-up, and finally one day a buddy of mine was visiting here in Orlando, and he convinced me to go out to my first open mic, and I did it and caught the bug, and I've been doing it ever since, 5.5 years now, so. It was a rush. It was crazy. I signed up at a mic that was actually a mixed arts mic. We didn't know it when we got there, but it was a mixed arts mic, so they gave us 15-minute spots, like what they were giving to the musicians. So my first time up, I did 15 minutes, and it was the most exhilarating experience of my life, one of the most frightening experiences of my life, and it was enough to get me hooked and keep me on it. So. Well, my favorite comedian is Mark Viola. I think everything he says is funny. I'm Mark, by the way. You get inspired by a lot of different things. Obviously, you'll hear a lot of the same names, I'm sure, every time you ask this question. Carlin, Pryor, not Cosby anymore. People who've been inspired by Cosby for 20 years, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, no, he never really had a big impact on my crowd. I really don't, yeah. But no, I love a lot of the older guys, Alan King, Buddy Hackett, the older comedians. Now I draw a blank as I'm being asked a question. Well, I'll just edit that part out anyway. Right now, a lot of the comics that I like that are kicking stuff out. I'm a big fan of Patton. I like a lot of the stuff that he's doing. He's really, yeah. I love Sports Night. I love MASH. There's not that many that are like more recent that I dig. Scrubs is really good. Those types of things. Favorite movie of all time, ever since I was a little kid, was Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks is the god. The only thing that can even touch any of the great Mel Brooks films, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Robert and Men in Tights, the only thing that can touch any of those is Airplane. I'm actually not that big on sketch shows. Never really something that I got super into. Every once in a while you'll catch a funny sketch off of. Old SNL was great, of course. It's been garbage for the last 15 years. A couple of things Key and Peele do are pretty good, but I'm not really a sketch guy, so. Oh man, I could name a whole bunch of comedians that I would love to go on tour with that are top of my list that nobody watching this will have ever heard of. Because when you go around the country, you meet a lot of really amazing touring comics. Right now, there are so many amazing touring comics running around the country. Let me just throw out a quick list of guys that people should be checking out online. That they are not on TV, they are not big and famous, but they are doing 150, 200 shows a year all over the country. These are guys like J.C. Ratliff, John Gibson, J.T. Habersat, Dwayne Duke, Krish Mohan, Pat Garrity, Carmen Morales, Ricky Reyes. All these people, really, really hilariously funny comedians that you've never heard of, but you should check out. Rickles is top of the list, without question. Jeselnik would probably be pretty fun to get roasted by. Patrice O'Neill, Greg Giraldo, and Jon Stewart. I feel like he hasn't done a lot of roast, but I feel like he'd be really, really amazing to be roasted by. He'd be really good. Well, in the next 5 years, I'm 5.5 years in now, and I headline all over the country. And 5 years from now, I'd like to still be doing that, just bigger venues, more people. Not even so much for like a quote-unquote fame aspect of it, but more for the idea that my art can reach more people in a single hit, and then I'm getting more of those hits every single night. So I'm touching more people with what I have to say. Well, I've ventured off into a few different. I've tried improv. I've done comedy writing. I actually wrote for a three-time Emmy award-winning program called The News Remixed, which was like late-night news comedy writing and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd say that if anything I was going to break off into, I'd like to be a writer for something that's primarily news-based, but also pop culture and topical. They can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Mark Viola Comedy. They can follow me on Twitter @Mark Viola Comedy, and they can check out my website, markviolacomedy.com. I want them to have had a good time. I want them to laugh. I also would like them to buy and take a T-shirt with them, but that's just because I need to put food in my belly and gas in my tank. I don't know. I feel like laughter unifies. Humor is something that brings us all together, and that's kind of what I want my audience to be able to leave with: is a sense that they came together into a room with a bunch of strangers and left with this shared experience of enjoyment that they can then take back to the people in their lives and talk about. And also, be able to have that shared experience with others who they may never see again. Hey guys, I'm Mark Viola, touring stand-up comedian, and I want you guys to check me out and check out the awesome site, acutiepie.com.